Hey everybody, Matt Geary for Geek Pride here with our second The Song of Ice and Fire tabletop miniatures game battle report at the Vulnerable, Panicked and Weakened Club Night in Element Games. So just a little bit of preamble before we start. There is going to be chapters within this video, and there will be chapters within the first video as well. So if you don't want to listen to any of this waffle, or you don't want to see specific parts of the video and you just want to see the battle, then by all means you can just skip to that then. That being said, we are still trying to find our fate, and we really appreciate all the constructive criticism and all the positive comments we've got from the last video. We're trying our best to take on board as much as we can. We obviously won't be able to keep everybody happy, but we're listening and we're trying our best. With that, if there's any mistakes with the rules, if there's anything you have to say, then by all means let us know within the comments. We'll add it to the description in that video, and then going forward we can learn from that to see how it goes. As there seems to be a mixture of old guard and newish players, we want to make sure that we've got a happy medium for everybody, so the new people have a little bit more information about what each thing does, but conversely we are not turning off the old guard by teaching them how to suck eggs. But anyway, that's enough from me. The Grand Measter had just left Winterfell on our last battle report and is making his way down the King's Road. Let's join him and see what happens.
Ah, so you decided to join me after all. I understand. I too was once young, believe it or not. The call to adventure sent me all over these 7 kingdoms, and I saw many beautiful and yet terrible things. I soon realized that the old gods had put me here for a reason. Staring, looking up at the citadel, I knew that knowledge in these dark times was key, and to witness the history of this land was not enough. It needed recording, it needed teaching. Those before us would teach those after, and maybe, just maybe, the Song of Summer would reach these shores. Too many years later, and my histories are taught from King's Landing to Castle Black, from Bravos to Marine, and yet I continue. The winds of winter chill the air, and war stalks the lands perpetually. So there is always something that needs recording. Why do I still do it? Good question. One I have asked myself far too many times. I guess it's because... A raven from Winterfell. Oh gods, there has been another battle. Whoa boy, we must stop here. There under that oak quickly. You're here now. You might as well make yourself useful. Transcribe these words.
Grand Measter. I wish I was writing to you with more heartening news, especially after the last battle and your return to your journeys. But alas, I must inform you of another battle. Not so long after you left Winterfell, an Ironborn raiding fleet was spotted on the White Knife, making their way north. Our forces are few and scattered, but battle was commenced. The Greyjoy forces were being led by an Ironborn captain of some renown, Sir Joel. His sense of irony and dark humor only matched by the length of his beard. Indeed, thinking it only fitting that if he was to face the north once again, then what better plan than to bring along some familiar faces. Commanding his raiding party is our former ward, Theon Greyjoy. Once, like family to the Starks, now bent on some misguided quest for revenge. He brings stark martial prowess to a troublesome house, providing additional maneuverability and close support for the unit of silenced men he is attached to. Why he feels the need to bring further shame to his name by fighting his former brothers, only the old gods know. But I digress. The silenced men Theon leads have little armor to speak of. But where they lack in defense, they make up for in speed and, with the aid of pillage tokens, the ability to hit hard and sow fear into the hearts of their foes. And fear, my dear Maester, is what this force excels at. The House Harlow Reapers adding to the general disarray of the battlefield with vicious attacks. The ability to restore wounds when enemies fail their panic tests. And with the aid of the bastard Ramsay Snow, a terrifying -3 to panic tests when attacked in the front, or a -4 and 5 respectively for the flank and rear. All the while feeding off the fear they have wrought and gaining wounds back as they do it. And if the enemy is not scared, well, they have their false prophets to support them when this happens. The drowned men, as they style themselves, use their influence to restore wounds to beleaguered Ironborn, and themselves can be a tough unit to shift. What is dead may not die indeed. That leads us to the last unit to take the field. If the other units are the glass hammers, the ironmakers are the anvil that they crush their foes upon. Sitting on a 3+ save, they, with the aid of pillage tokens, can increase that to a 2+. All the while they regain wounds from their support units, and should you be lucky enough to lay them low, there is a good chance that they will rise again. Something I will come to shortly. Ironmakers are not only tough to kill, but also, especially with their attachment Dagma Cleftjaw, hard-hitting. Having critical blow natively with Dagma's ability can re-roll attack dice, become vicious, and attack on their highest dice roll. Destroyed ranks depending. No raiding force is worth its sea salt without their infamous leader, Balon Greyjoy. This self-proclaimed king of the Iron Islands does one thing and one thing only. He brings a unit back from the dead. This unnatural magic can be the difference between victory and defeat, and with the right unit can be truly demoralizing to the opposing commander's army, something I know well to my shame. In his retinue he brings his brother, the self-proclaimed prophet of the drowned god, Aeron Greyjoy. This drowned man aids his brother's force with additional healing. Lastly, he has also brought along a Measter you may have known once, Wendermere. This former pupil of the Citadel aids his master's forces with more healing and the ability to add more tactics cards to his deck. This is a force of terror, a force that doesn't fight for glory or for honor. They are a force that fights for pillage and for plunder. The rules of war will not be granted by these men. We provided mercy to them once, and this is how they repay us. We will strike first, we will strike hard. There will be no mercy. With this in mind, command has been given to a rising star within the Winterfell Guard, an experienced knight known as Sir Cameron. You will, of course, Grand Measter, be aware of the rumors circulating about him. Some saying he's a Lannister spy, others that he's a disgraced free folk commander who lost an army of giants and fled south to escape the shame. Indeed, some also say he has ties with our foe, the Greyjoys. But these are but baseless propaganda spread by the enemy to divide us. We will take no heed. Rumors aside, Sir Cameron was there in our hour of need, and thankfully, one of our greatest tacticians was present to aid his commission of array. Sir Roderick Cassell, Master of Arms, will provide our forces with additional strength, and with his presence point out vulnerabilities in our enemies. He is joined by the Lord of the Neck, Howland Reed. The Cranogman's knowledge of the terrain and his ability to confuse the enemy, providing a -1 to hit when influencing an enemy unit, will be invaluable in the battle to come. With him, Lady Arya brings an ability to maneuver our forces more readily, and the young she-bear, Lady Lyanna Mormont, a boost to morale and a grudge that will only strengthen the unit she influences each time one of our units is destroyed. Lady Lyanna has brought with her some Mormont bruisers. Like their Greyjoy opponents, they are not well armored, but can pack a punch and have the advantage of disrupting any enemy in contact with them by giving a -1 to hit. Something that can stack with Howland Reed's ability for an enemy frustrating -2 in certain circumstances. Within this unit, Master Bran and Hodor are present. Hodor may not be a smart man, but he knows what battle is and aids the unit by dishing out a wound each attack. Bran, on the other hand, is there to direct his simpleton mount and is accompanied by his loyal protector, Summer. This direwolf will attack anyone who dares assail its master, and with great speed and razor-sharp teeth will be something the Ironborn will need to be wary of. Master Bran is not the only Stark son to attend on this battle. Young Rickon, accompanied by the wildling Osha, will give the unit of Umber Berserkers they lead +1 to their morale, the ability to heal when they pass morale and dish out additional hits should the enemy fail any of their rolls. The Berserkers, as you mentioned in your last report, only get better as they take damage, and the Ironborn will soon wish they had stayed in bed, instead of fighting these men of the north. Along with Rickon, as always, pads a long, shaggy dog. Not as well trained as the other noble direwolves, but a beast, like its master unit, that only gets better as it takes damage. Potentially dishing out 7 vicious and sundering attacks should it take enough damage and survive. Again, with another dire wolf stalking the battlefield, the Greyjoys will need to be on their guard, lest their rear or flank be prey to these mascots of the north. The final unit for the Stark Order of Battle is that of the Winterfell Guard. Hard-hitting, well-disciplined, and well-armored, this unit only gets better as areas on the tactics board are taken, and should they hit their foe hard enough, not even the best armored Ironmaker will be able to withstand their blows. Lastly, I should mention that Lady Arya has brought a friend. Jaqen, this time not a supporting unit, but an infiltrating one. Selecting a unit, he lies in wait. When this unit takes enough damage to remove him from it, he in turn does 3 wounds, including any attachment from another enemy unit, an unforeseen end to an unsuspecting Greyjoy hero. And an end to the Greyjoys is what we desire, to rid them once again from our land and send them scuttling back to below the rocks they came from. The following battle report is scribed as faithfully as it can be, and I have allowed Lord Geary to provide you with a copy. May its contents aid you in your histories, and may the old gods' light shine upon them with favor. Yours faithfully always, Lord House Stark.
The mission for today's battle is Dark Wings. We've got 3 objectives in the center of the board, and we have mission cards, with the active missions being 4 and 8, and the reserve missions being 6 and 2. These missions can be scored from turn 1, and as of turn 3, if they're not used, will be swapped out for new missions.
Can change for your decision on who goes first, or vice versa.
I'm gonna keep these, and I'm gonna say the first activation is yours.
Okay.
And so here we go, round 1, and the Greyjoys have first turn. At the top of the round, Cam plays the North Remembers on his Winterfell Guard. For his first turn, Joel uses one of his passes. Cam then marches his Mormont Bruisers towards the wall in front of him. Joel, in response, then marches his Ironmakers forward and pivots them slightly to prevent any doggos from hitting them in the flank. Cam marches his Winterfell Guard forward, and then Joel does the same with his drowned men. For our first NCU, Cam places Howland Reed on horses. He then influences Theon unit for potential -1 to hit should he pop the card. And finally, as part of the manoeuvre, he moves Summer forward. At the end of Cam's activation, Joel scores 1 point for mission 4, having taken a tactics board position before Joel. At the start of Joel's activation, Cam plays a swift reposition token and moves Summer towards the wall. Joel then takes his action, places Aeron on letters, and then influences his Ironmakers.
I will draw 1 and 2 cards, and I am going to make Summer weakened.
In response to this, Calum uses Summer's action to destroy the wall in front of it. Next up, Windermere goes on swords and gives himself a token. Cam moves Rickon and his Berserker bodyguard forward. Joel then places Balon on bags. He then gets rid of Reserve Mission 2 and replaces it with Reserve Mission 1. In response, Cam places Lyanna on bags and then influences Rickon's unit of Berserkers. Following that, he picks one of Joel's units to take a panic test.
The trait.
Yeah, do you know what? Do it on Theon's unit. Baby boy Theon.
Pass.
Oh.
Following the success, Joel moves his House Harlow Reapers up beside his drowned men. Calum then positions Shaggy Dog in between the Winterfell Guard and the Umber Berserkers. Following that, and at the start of Joel's turn, Calum moves his Winterfell Guard forward using one of Arya's tokens. And as the final move of the round, Joel moves Theon's unit forward. For the first action of round 2, Calum places Howland Reed on swords and influences Ramsay Snow's unit. He then plays assault orders, and because he's got swords, he can charge. He succeeds this charge roll and slams into the drowned men with his Winterfell Guard.
I get re-rolls, so that, oh god, that's 3 wounds straight away off the bat.
Do the others.
Re-roll these 2, that is 2 ones.
So 3 wounds and 3 saves?
3 saves, yeah.
That's not a single save. That's the unit dead, however, I am then going to play What is Dead May Never Die.
I should have used Winter is Coming.
He should indeed, and Joel rolls his panic check, passes, and his drowned men stay alive. Joel then uses Sentinel on Theon to do a manoeuvre into the flank of the Winterfell Guard. Calum, seeing the danger, uses one of Arya's tokens to retreat the Winterfell Guard. Joel then, on the start of his turn, uses an order to heal 2 wounds on his drowned men. Joel then follows this up by declaring a charge and charging into the Winterfell Guard. He unfortunately rolls a 1 on the charge and then centres the unit.
That is 1, 2, 3, and 4 saves with -1.
-1, yep. So that is 2 saves.
2 saves.
And 2 die.
Okay, and then can you please take a panic check?
They pass.
Easily.
Flying colours.
As his next action, Calum puts Lyanna on letters and makes the Ironmakers vulnerable. It should also be noted that he forgets to influence with Lyanna, but retrospectively is allowed to place it on his Winterfell Guard later on. Next onto the tactics board is Aeron, and instead of using its ability, he plays a card called We Do Not Sow, which gives him the ability to do an attack. On top of this card, Joel plays Kraken's Wrath, which gives him rerolls, precision, and he makes the unit panicked.
7 attacks hitting on freeze with rerolls. That is 1 precision and 6 hits.
So 1 precision and 6 hits. So that is 5 ups. Oops. That was. Do you want me to re-roll that?
Re-roll it. Yeah,
no,
there you go.
So that is 5 dead.
Which gives me the pillage tokens.
And then 4 up panic.
Yeah, fine.
At the start of his turn, Roderick pops his order and makes Theon's unit vulnerable. Calum decides to attack with his Winterfell Guard and plays Northern Ferocity, giving his attacks vicious and making the enemy panicked.
So 8 attacks, hitting on 3s again.
Nothing's died yet.
Nope. So that is 5 saves, please.
Okay. No sundering?
No sundering, no.
So 5s.
5s.
That is 1, so 4 die.
4 die.
4 die. So I am at -2 plus 1 from pillage, which they pass.
Could you re-roll that 6, please?
Yes, I can. No.
So they suffer 5 wounds because of Northern Ferocity.
And yes, that was me gasping in the background. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. In response, Joel plays Diversion Tactics, moving its Ironmakers forward to prevent a flank attack on his beleaguered unit and to take the objective. He then uses Wendemir's ability to take a card and to heal his unit. Finally, he puts Wendemir on horses, but instead of taking that action, he just takes a token instead. Now Calum, seeing this opportunity to try and deal with Theon's unit before it's healed anymore, uses Summer to charge into its flank. Unfortunately, he rolls a 1 and gets a disorderly charge.
So 3s.
You've rolled 4 dice there.
4 attacks, sorry.
Oh, is it 4 attacks?
4 attacks hitting on 3s.
Sorry, yeah.
So
re-roll your successes, please.
So that is one save at -2 because it's sundering.
6.
6.
Nope.
That's
Takes
1.
another wound.
And then a panic check at -1.
-1 plus 1, so 6. Which fails by
They
1.
lose 1, yay.
Not quite enough for Calum, and unfortunately Joel adds insult to injury by doing this.
I'm going to use Wendemir's order again.
Oh, that's just me.
I'm going to heal 2.
She's just done 2 damage.
And draw a card. I am then going to activate with my Ironmakers.
Okay.
And I am going to play Raiding Call. I'm going to kill 3 Ironmakers.
I am going to do combat prowess and expend that token on them to cancel the effect of the tactics card.
Very well.
With his tactics foiled, Joel uses his Ironmakers to charge into Bran's unit.
4s, any 6s are crit blow, so that's 1 and 2. That's 1 there. And then re-rolls. That is more crit blow, 1 miss. So that is 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10 hits from the Ironmakers.
10 hits on the Mormont Bruisers that have a 5 up save. Oops.
And lo and behold, you roll well above the odds on those 5s and 6s.
That is 6 dead.
Okay, that is a pillage token. And then a panic check with -2 because of vicious.
So that's 8 ups. I fail and 1 dies.
Not enough for a second pillage, unfortunately.
Following the attack, Calum moves his berserkers forwards. And then Joel does the same with his drowned men, putting them in the flank of Theon's unit. Next up, Calum puts Arya on crowns. Instead of using its ability, he replaces mission card 6 with mission card 9. In response, Joel charges Ramsay's unit into the berserkers, wherein Calum expends Howland Reed's ability for a -1 to his attack rolls.
No re-rolls.
Re-rolling that cocked. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If only I had precision.
Because of Osha, Joel takes a hit for each fail and saves one of them.
And you roll like that.
So 2 die, and then a panic check of 5
-3.
5 up, so -3, 8 up. 7, but only 1 dies.
For his next action, Calum uses Shaggy Dog to charge into the drowned men, passing his charge roll. He then plays Winter's Coming.
On 3s, re-rolling. I do need to re-roll those 2. So that is 4 saves. They are sundering and vicious.
6s anyway.
6s anyway.
That's 2, so only 1 wound. 6 up. That's it.
Yep, that's
they're
fair.
there and happy.
And for the final action of the round, Calum uses Bran's unit to attack the Iron.
On 3s. Do you know what? I'm going to re-roll these 3 just to fish for 6s. That's 6.
1.
So that's 1 dead, so 2 dead, and then that is 5 saves.
5 saves. 3 plus. Of course.
So that's 3 more dead. Nice.
6, 7, 5 now because of the pillage, which they pass.
With round 3 beginning, missions 1 and 9 become active, and missions 5 and 7 are set in reserve. Joel initially plays the Iron Price, but then it's countered by combat prowess by Calum. Joel places Aeron on swords and then attaches him to Theon's unit. He then plays Opportunist to give him vicious and precision attacks.
Needing 3s, 6s for precision. And re-rolling. So that is 2 automatically dead, and 5 with -2 to their save this time.
So that is
The unit.
The unit, yeah.
Start turn, I'm going to use their order to heal 2 of their wounds.
Okie dokie.
As Cam's next action, he places Lyanna on bags and then influences Bran's unit. He then puts down Northern Ferocity to give the attacks vicious.
Just
gonna
vicious.
Get so that is...
With rerolls.
I'm going to risk it. That didn't pay off that time. But that is 1 dead, so 2 dead from 1 Hodor and 1 precision.
And
then
rest of the hits?
4 hits.
4 hits. 4 hits, needing freeze. That is terrible rolling for the ironmakers. That's another 3 dead. They pass.
They pass.
Just indeed, with only 2 guys left, Joel decides to attack back with his ironmakers.
Needing 4s with rerolls. Any 6s are crit blow. Oh, cock's sake. Oh, cock. Nailing this. There we go. So that is 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with 1 miss.
5 ups. That is...
That's enough,
4 saved, and then 4 die. Okay, 7, yeah.
Yeah,
fine.
They pass. Close.
Close is an understatement, only leaving Bran and Hodor left on the field. This could be pivotal. With that close shave, Cam puts Howland Reed on letters. He then influences Theon's unit and weakens his unit as well. Joel then decides to put an end to the pesque that is the Direwolf Summer and turns his unit to face it. With the concept of losing his faithful doggo, Cam plays martial superiority and expends Howland Reed on Joel's unit.
Yeah.
Yep. So hitting on 4s. Reroll that. Would you like me to re-roll?
Can you re-roll all of them, please?
Yep, that's fair. That is free.
2. Oh, no, it's -1 to hit.
Oh, sorry, 2, yeah. And
so
I will
that
need
is
to do
hits
those
for all of them, please.
5s.
That is 3 dead.
3.
1 summer. So that's 1 save and 1 wound.
1 model back because of Aeron. And if you can take a panic check with -1, please, because of their aura.
So 3 up. They're fine. She's fine.
With Summer yelping with pain, Bran's unit decides to take some revenge on the Ironmakers in front of him. To make sure there are no Greyjoy tricks, Cam plays press the advantage on the unit.
Fair enough.
So they're hitting on 3s. Would you like me to re-roll any of those?
I would love you to re-roll all of that.
So that
is much better.
That is 3 saves, please, at...
2 plus.
2, no, they're not. They lose all abilities.
Oh, 3 plus then. Come on, boys.
Ooh, interesting. They fail. That's the unit.
That is the unit.
Unfortunately for Cam, though...
Use Balon, and the Ironmakers are going to come back.
That is the most depressing thing ever when you spend so long killing a unit and they just come back.
Well, I said it all there, didn't I? And with that, Joel puts the Ironmakers on the flank behind Rickon's unit of Berserkers. Calum then places Arya on horses and retreats Shaggy Dog backwards. In reply, Joel puts Windermere on crowns to take a token. He then expends a token to take a card and to heal his Reapers. In a bid to prevent Theon's unit from healing too much, Shaggy Dog charges into the flank.
So that is
4 saves.
-2.
I'm on 6s anyway when you're in my flank. So 6s.
So that's 4 dead.
4 dead. And a panic check with -3.
Yeah.
So +1, so -2, so 8. That is not the right dice. So that is 2.
So that's 4 plus 2, so that's 6. Oof. It's just baby boy Theon left. When he's destroyed,
you do get to do your wounds.
And Jackin's trap is sprung. Once he's removed from the unit, he chooses, or Calum chooses, to take 3 wounds off the Ironmakers. One of those wounds including Dagmar, as he can kill an attachment. For his next action, Joel plays the Opportunist and attacks with Ramsay Snow's unit.
7 dice, needing 3s, with rerolls, thank God for that.
Yep.
Not a single precision.
Any misses, you take as hits.
Yep. That is a fail, so I take 1 wound. So that is 6 hits.
6 hits.
On 4s.
So that is 1 dice.
Wow.
That's about right.
And then a panic check at
with
-2.
-3.
-3. So that is a 7-up. They take
3, 4 because of Ramsay.
4 because of Ramsay.
So that is a pillage token.
Sensing blood and the ability to destroy Theon's unit, Cam puts an attack in with Summer.
If I may. That's not enough.
That's the unit.
However, what is dead may never die.
Joel passes morale test and Theon sticks around. Joel then risks it for a biscuit and charges his drowned men into the side of Rickon's unit. With a bit of a slapfest because of Osha's ability, both take 1 wound. Before his berserkers are destroyed, Cam hits back at Ramsay Snow's unit.
In on 3s, 9 attacks.
Yeah.
That is not that many. I've been betrayed by my dice, so 5 saves, please.
It's about time you got betrayed. Saving on 5s. That is 2, so 3 die.
3 die.
1, 2, 3.
And then Le Panique.
Panic check with +1 for the tree, so that is a panic check of 4, which they pass.
And that's it for round 3. Cam gets 1 point for his objective, and Joel gets 2 points for scoring mission 1. And with this, missions 5 and mission 7 are active, and mission 3 is put in reserve.
Start of turn. It might be pointless, but I'm going to do my best to try and keep our boy Theon alive by feeling 2 with their order.
Okay.
As the first action of the round, Calum puts Lyanna on swords and influences Rickon's unit of berserkers. He then plays Press the Advantage.
So, I'm on 9 attacks with critical blow hitting on 2s. So that is
7,
7 saves, please.
2, 4, 6, and 7. Go, Ramsay.
So that is 6 dead.
6 dead. Oh, it's tight. 2, 4. Come on. 6.
And then a panic check, please.
So I'm needing a 4. Pass.
Okie dokie.
Knowing that if he doesn't do something quickly, he's going to lose Ramsay's unit, Joel elects to play Finger Dance. On top of that, he then plays Blessed with Stone, Blessed with Steel, which will give him the wounds that he needs to use Finger Dance. Calum in return then plays Martial Superiority to make it -1 to hit.
Kill 1 and 2 to make you vulnerable.
Okay.
The attack, Ramsay's unit has 2 pillage, so you become panicked.
Okay.
Needing 4s.
Yeah.
Because I'm at negative. Re-rolling.
Spicy meatballs.
So I take 1 hit in return.
Yeah.
And that is
4, 3 ups.
So I'll do the hit.
Oh, yeah.
Which I pass for once.
3 ups, they all
Re-roll with your vulnerable, please.
They all get 1 pass.
So Osha dies.
Osha dies.
And then if you could please do the panic check with -3.
Because they're on a 3 up.
Yes.
That is fine.
Re-roll both of the black for me, please.
They are fine.
Yeah.
A critical save for Calum, who now in turn is able to attack back.
So that is, a lot of 1s and 2s.
So that is 3, is it?
4 attacks because they have critical blow.
5.
That is off a unit.
Oof indeed, Matt. Oof indeed. With Joel's next activation, he puts Aeron on bags. He then influences Theon's unit to get some additional healing. Finally then, he plays Finger Dance. With this, Calum changes facing from Shaggy Dog and makes an attack.
That's 4 attacks into your flank, hitting on 3s.
Yep.
Yeah. So that is 3 saves, please.
6s.
Minus 2, yeah. So that's
Nothing.
3 dead.
3 dead. So yeah, 8. 8. Which they pass.
Which they pass and they
Which
get
they
a wound
gain
back.
a wound back. I'm actually going to kill one.
Ooh, to go to 5, but you get precision, I'm guessing?
No, re-rolls.
Rerolls, that's fair.
So 5, but 6 because of pillage. On to Poor Summer, so needing a 3. And re-rolling. That is all of them. So 6 hits with
-2.
-2, yeah.
So 6s. That is 2.
But enough to kill.
But enough to kill, yes.
So that's another victory point. Poor Summer. Rest in pieces.
Reeling from the death of Summer and not wanting to lose Rickon's unit as well, Howland Reed goes on horses and influences the Ironmakers. He then performs a retreat action from Rickon's unit. Following up, Joel puts Balon on letters and weakens Bran and Hodder's unit. Calum puts Arya on crowns and forces the Ironmakers to make a panic check at -2.
Which they pass.
Which they pass, that's fair.
Joel then moves the Ironmakers onto the objective marker. Calum then charges Bran and Hodder into Theon's unit, using devastating impact, which makes them panicked and vulnerable.
Go for it.
Would you like me to... Oh, I'll re-roll first.
Yep. And then re-roll everything, please. That is more like it. 1 instant death.
1 instant death.
Is it? No, it's crit blow, isn't it?
Crit
Not
blow
precision.
and precision. Hit, yep.
Even 6?
No, 2 hits because of crit blow.
Oh, yes. No, 2 dead.
That's 2 dead. 1 wound as well.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Backseat gaming. 1 second, let me re-roll that. That
Can
is
you re-roll the 6 because they are panicked?
Yeah. That is 4.
That is them dead.
+1, yeah, that is them dead.
With the traitor Theon gone, Calum scores 3 points for mission 5 and an additional point for killing a unit. Calum then manoeuvres Hodder back onto the objective. Joel then uses diversion tactics to move his drowned men.
Final activation then of the round. I'm going to charge with these guys.
Yep.
That's enough.
Yep.
They're going to go to there. There's 2 with rerolls. That's 3 with rerolls.
Okay. So 3 saves of 3 up. They're fine and they pass the panic.
Yep.
So you suffer 1 wound.
Joel's first action of round 5 is to put Aeron on horses and then to manoeuvre his Ironmakers forward towards Rickon's unit. Cam then responds by putting Lyanna on swords. She influences Rickon's unit and he attacks the drowned men, playing Winter's Might to help him with the attack.
So re-rolls of 3 ups. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 saves, please.
Needing 6s.
That's the
1. That is them dead. Wendermere's going to go on to bags, and he's going to take an order token.
Howland Reed is going to jump onto the old letters, draw my last 2 tactics cards.
Howland Reed influences the Ironmakers and then he makes them vulnerable. Joel then counters this by playing the Iron Price. Joel then uses Windermere to shift his Ironmakers 3 inches. He then declares a charge on Rickon's unit.
No. So they go 3 and then 5.
And then make a little old panic check. With +1 for the tree.
Oh, you bugger. You absolute... Yeah, I knew that would happen. That's my luck for this game in a nutshell. So that's, what, 1 was it?
Yeah, 1 dead.
Yay.
Calum then adds insult to injury by charging the Ironmakers and then playing all of his cards. Devastating Impact, Winter's Might, and Winter is Coming.
And they have crit blow because of Rihanna.
Go for it.
Lean against that totally unstable thing.
So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 saves at -1, please.
Jesus. Sums up the game. -1, so 4s. That is...
I suppose he doesn't know I'm not.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Could you re-roll all passes, please?
Yep. No. I told you, if they didn't get the attack, this would be the end of the game. That is...
I remember when they made me do...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect.
GG, mate. Very well played, mate.
And there we go, ladies and gents. A very close second battle report for you. Could have gone either way. Very much the case that had Joel been able to take down Rickon's unit or take down Bran and Hodder, then things could have changed very quickly. But because Cam was able to keep a hold of both of those units with just those heroes left, he was able to take the game. And that's what the Lord of Winterfell wrote, as they say. So thanks very much everybody for watching. Please give us a like, please give us a subscribe, check out the links below. There will be, after this part, a breakdown of what the players thought of the battle, so stick around for that. If you've got any comments, if you've got any constructive criticism, if you think we've got a rule wrong or something, then by all means let us know. Anything that we want to change, we'll stick it in the description. All rules, issues, etc. like that, like we did last time. Again, as before, there will be chapters, so you can skip around all you want. But other than that, thank you very much. We're going to aim to try and get these out maybe 2-3 weeks if we can. They take a long time to do, but we will try our best. But we really appreciate all the support we've been getting so far, and hopefully we'll get some more battle reports out for you. So thanks for joining us. I've been Matt Geary. Our players have been Joel and Cameron. And, let's hear what they have to say.
I think, to be honest here, I was very, very worried up until turn 4, and then the Stark average thing came in. With Starks just get better as they lose more, and it was kind of a case of like whether if I'd have weathered the storm, it was coming out on top afterwards.
My issues were Theon is just not a very good commander. He has Sentinel, but he's never able to use it properly. I'm not very confident with Sentinel. It's not something I enjoy. 10 out of 10 would have rather had Victarion to get overrun into Starks. Theon is not a good commander against Starks any day of the week. In the same way that Rob's not a very good commander for Starks half the time, because they're kind of, you know, mirrors of each other to a certain extent. Never once did he get his ambush off. It's just impossible when Starks are able to field 5 combat units on the board when I'm stuck down to 4. The board domination just means I can't get anywhere, and the dogs just cause massive amounts of interruption. Unfortunately, running thematic lists never ends well with Greyjoys. Unfortunately, our commanders are limited in what's good, what's not these days.
What would have been good against that list?
Very, very bluntly, Victarion. Victarion has lots of shenanigans for overrun, lots of attack cards. It meets the Stark aggression with equal aggression. Genuinely, the issue was that I was spending all my time keeping Theon alive, and Normally, I wouldn't do that, but with objectives playing against me and with Theon just not being a great commander for maximising damage output, he just kind of sat around doing nothing against 2 direwolves for almost 3 turns.
I think when you did play the Theon's tactics card, they felt very powerful, but because it didn't interact with any other combos that the Greyjoys have. Yeah,
Theon's tactics are entirely based around movement. But again, as soon as you have things such as the direwolves, cavalry options, it just negates every single bit of movement that Theon gets because he's on foot. And so though he has a very solid threat range, he just can't get into the angles that he needs to maximise things off. Killing Roderick was great. That was the only time he shined in this entire game. Other than that, he got bogged down, couldn't do anything. Perhaps I could have retreated maybe, but at the same time, he would have just been chased down by the direwolves at every opportunity, let alone if I rolled a 1 for a retreat, which, considering my dice rolls this game, very, very high likelihood. The only takeaway I have from this is that I still hate running Theon. He is just not a fun commander for me to play. It's not my play style. And there's not much else I can add to that. He just isn't great against most factions, and unfortunately, Starks have the options of cavalry and wolves and a hell of a lot of damage output. He's not a tanky commander, so he can't take the hits, and he's not an aggressive commander, so he can't give the hits. He's mid-ground, and unfortunately, against any half-decent list from Starks, he's going to falter. And I appreciate, you know, Cam's brought a lovely themed list with all the Stark kids, but unfortunately, Starks have some excellent attachments, some excellent units, and considering they were pretty much untouched in the recent update, I'm not surprised that they came out on top, really, in the great scheme.
I think
it was always a matter of being kind of hitting hard, trying to do what I needed to do, and then just not managing to kind of overcome things. Only real difference I'd make is to swap the Reapers and the Ironmakers, and that is the sole alteration that I'd make. But unfortunately,
with more Ironmakers?
No, as in their positioning at the start. So if the Reapers had gone up against the Mormonts, it would have likely gone better over in that corner.
Yeah, because they have very bad panic for Stark units. So
I made the error of thinking their morale didn't change. Wrong thing to do. Ramsay did well against them, whittled them right down, but he wasn't hitting hard enough to knock it over the edge, and that was the ultimate issue. Genuinely, other than that, there was no other play I could have gone for, and I'll probably look back and go, God, I could have swapped the units around, but right now I don't think I can. I couldn't have, sorry. And I'll pass it over to you, Cam.
You will be playing Theon in a list very soon, though. Not as Theon, as Reek.
Oh yes, yes, definitely.
But no, I think it just shows how good the Stark attachments are, because they are very themed around playing with characters, whereas Greyjoys kind of aren't. They fall flat, and I think one of the big pivotal moments was the me popping Jack in Hagar and getting rid of Dagmar, because on a unit that is really good at sticking around, it was a great thing to just go, no, I'm not going to, you're not going to get any benefits for sticking around. The loss of Roderick so early on was kind of a massive surprise that sent shockwaves for about 2 turns afterwards. But because obviously without that generation of Roderick chucking down vulnerable tokens, it was a case of I couldn't really maximise his cards out. I know that they were good in the situations that they were presented with, but it wasn't as maximised as it could be. But I did enjoy playing with the all the Stark kids that were there at Winterfell, I guess, and it was a very good game. And I think as a Greyjoy player myself as well, our non-named attachments are just too good compared to in the face of sort of named attachments. I'd say Dagmar is a shining light in named Greyjoy attachments, but when you've got stuff like, you know, the Sunset Sea Brave, you've got your War Sworn that just gives you Fueled by Slaughter on a generic attachment. It's a night and day. Yeah, night and day. Yeah. But I think I will still be playing Theon in my Greyjoy lists, but maybe as attachment Theon, so he can go in my my little Stony Shore pillages, just to give him a little bit more oomph. But
no, I do agree. I think Theon suffers massively as a commander. Personally, I think at this moment in time, the only two commanders that are massively viable in a competitive way are probably Baelor, Black-Tide and Victarion. There's other commanders, you can use them, but I just think you're on the back foot straight off the bat with some of them. I think Ironmakers getting slightly better has helped. Yeah. It means they're not losing panic checks constantly, if you're not me who rolls ones all the time. But I do think it's just one of those ones where against Starks, which have lots of really good units, the Greyjoys do struggle a lot. If you haven't got the right commander, you're not going to stay alive, or you're not going to out damage them, and that's it.
I think the one thing,
error.
I think the one thing that Greyjoys do really well, though, and I think is evident in every turn, was healing.
Oh yeah.
Making sure there was always a thorn in my side and everything. A lot of the Stark players like, okay, I'm going to think 2 steps ahead and destroy this unit and then go over to that unit, but then it was like, oh, it's a case of what is dead may never die, and I did miss my Lannister counterpart for just shutting that down.
Oh yes, massively. Painted models rolling better is an absolute lie. Apparently Stark Grey is the ultimate form of buff.